Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel, Made with Love. My name is Heather and tonight I'm doing my dinner. I'm actually going to make, again, just quick lamb chops in my Instant Pot. So I'm going to just make my little sauce that I usually do. I love to make it with 2 cups of liquid, so I use 1.5 cups of a chicken broth or vegetable broth or beef broth, and then 1/2 cup of my wine vinegar. Today I'm using my raspberry flavored red wine vinegar. And I don't have any of the carton chicken stock, but I have a couple of the little chicken cubes. So I've got 1.5 cups of water that was just boiled. Get the camera here. So I'm just going to put the 2 cubes into this boiling water. Get it broke up. And go get this in here. So that's the 2 cubes of the chicken bouillon to 1.5 cups of boiled water. And then I'm going to add about 1/2 cup of the red wine vinegar. And I'm just going to pour it all in because there wasn't a lot left. Just give this a quick stir, make sure that the cubes are all dissolved in here. Now I've got my Instant Pot. I'm just going to take the lid off and plug it in. And I've got my little metal trivet so my meat is not touching the bottom of the, sorry. Now I've got my defrosted lamb chops. I'm just going to grab a piece of paper towel because I did already blot this, but it happens they've been sitting out for a little while and more of the juices kind of came out. So I always like to just kind of give them another quick blot before I put them in. Especially when they've been sitting on top of each other. Okay, there we go. Oh, you just want to fall apart before I even get them cooked. Okay. Now I'm just going to pour the liquid. Pour the liquid in on top of them. Some of that wasn't fully dissolved. So I just stick it down on the liquid and it will dissolve as it cooks. I didn't see that big chunk. Okay. Put the lid on and I have it set to, is it locked in place? Now it's locked into place. I've got the top little thing set to sealing. So now I am going to turn on to the meat stew. And I want to actually add a few minutes to this. I'm going to do 40 minutes. Just because the last time I cooked my lamb, it needed a couple more minutes. So I'm just going to let this, do what it's doing. It just takes a few minutes to do that. And then over here on my stove, I have my 10 large potatoes. I've already got them peeled and chopped and they're in the water. They're about half cooked. So I'm gonna make mashed potatoes. And I'm also gonna make some quick gravy. So I've got 2 gravy mixes here. One is onion and one is mushroom. So I will be back when, camera's falling down. I will be back when my meat is, should be cooked, and I guess when my potatoes are cooked, I'll be back. So when the potatoes are cooked, I will make my mashed potatoes, I'll do the gravy, and then by that point my meat should be done as well, so I'll be back very soon. Well, my potatoes have cooked. I still have about 10-ish minutes left on the lamb. So I'm just gonna grate my potatoes here. And then I have some butter and milk I've warmed up. Small little chunks. I just find it easier than trying to mash the whole pot of potatoes at once. And I find having the butter melted and the milk warm also helps make creamier potatoes as well. Pour a little bit of the potatoes, a little bit of the milk and butter. And get really perfectly mashed potatoes. Potatoes are mashed. I'm just going to move them into a different container. I think I need one size bigger than this one. My potatoes are made. I'll be back in just a few minutes when the lamb is done, and then I can make my gravy. Right, so my timer on my Instant Pot just beeped. You can see the countdown is up like 1 minute. So you can do a slow release or a fast release. I prefer the fast release, but I hate when I have to pull this out and it splashes stuff. So I'm just gonna put the valve to venting, and there's a little button here, the quick release valve. So I'm just gonna press this down until it's fully released all the pressure, and then I'll be back just because it's so loud. It didn't take long. I mean, my timer is now sitting at 2 minutes, so it took less than a minute of holding the little thing down, but it's just so loud and my house just really echoes right now. So I'm just gonna open this. And I've got my little pot here. I'm just gonna lift up the lamb. And it just wants to fall in pieces on me while I'm trying to lift it up. And that's okay. That just means it's cooked. So it's just really juicy and tender and it just wants to fall apart. I'm going to take the little trivet out. There's some lamb that fell under the trivet. And that's a chunk of bone. Is this meat or bone? I can't quite tell what that one is. I think I've got all the meat out of here. I'm just gonna see, is that a bone? There's that one piece of meat. See, oh, that's another piece of bone. Just kind of. There's another piece of bone. Okay, so now I think I've got all the bones. I don't, oh, there's one more little thing here. No, that's just a little piece of meat. That's not bone. That little piece of fat can just stay in there. So now I'm just gonna put the lamb in my oven. With my mashed potatoes, I got them in the oven on just keep warm and hold. So now I'm going to turn my, I guess I got to turn this off. I'm just going to turn my Instant Pot on to the soup and broth. And I'm going to quickly make my gravy. Got this one here for the mushroom gravy, you need 1 cup of water, and then for the onion one it says 1 1/4 cups. Like I said, I started with about 2 cups of liquid in here, so I found that that's perfect for making 2 pouches of gravy. So just pour the mixes in with the liquid in here, and I'm just going to stir this and let it do what it has to do. And I can make the gravy on the stove, or I can just make it in my Instant Pot. So I really enjoy doing this now. So I just have to stir this in, and now any little bits of the lamb or whatever meat was in here, as I do this, I kind of get the little pieces off the sides, and it kind of adds flavor to my gravy. I find my gravy is so much thicker and tastier rather than just making on the stove with just the 2 cups or so of water. Gotta stir this for, I think it's like 2 or 5 minutes. It's a little bit different. Yeah, so in a saucepan, combine water and gravy mix, bring to a boil over medium heat, stirring constantly, and then simmer for 1 minute. Well, it's a little bit different, but I just kind of stir until it starts to bubble and starts to thicken. And then I'll just give it, once it does that, I'll just give it another minute or so. Continue to thicken, so it just takes a couple minutes. I'm not quite sure exactly how long it takes to stir this, so I will be back when the gravy is made. Alright, so my gravy is made, so I'm going to turn this off and I'm going to unplug it. So I can just sit there for a second. Little things. Move my Instant Pot out of my way so I have a little more room here. Okay, so now I'm just going to pour my gravy into the bowl so you can see how much gravy I made and how thick it is. I find it's so much thicker than when I make it just on the stove. I just can't quite reach across my kitchen. So there is my gravy. I got a good amount of gravy made. I'm just gonna clean up where I spilled, and I'm just gonna bring my potatoes and lamb out, and you can see how it all looks. Right, so I got everything cleaned up. So there is my gravy, mashed potatoes, and the lamb. Is our supper tonight. I know I've been doing a lot of the lamb chops done the same way. It's just I found this recipe and my husband just loves it, so he went and bought quite a few bags of lamb just so I could make it this exact way every time. Speaking of that, I guess it's time for me to go pick up my husband. Supper is ready. So again, I just wanted to say thank you so much to everybody who's subscribing to my channels and watching my videos, and I'll see you in the next ones. Bye.